I think we are live, guys. This is episode 116. And if you're focused on the right social media platform for 2022, you are probably going to be successful. If you're not, you got to watch this episode. Let's get it started with episode 116.
Hi, welcome to Hospitality Live with Rupesh, the hotel industry's top weekly resource for everything hospitality. Each week, you'll hear insights and the latest trends. Plus, get ready to be inspired by hotel leaders that are here to help you grow. Now, here's your host, Rupesh Patel.
Guys, I'm super excited. This is one of my favorite topics in hospitality, or in anything really. It's social media. I mean, we're talking about things that can help you improve your social platform or at least get some more bookings to your hotel. Guys, this is episode 116. Today we're talking about social media strategies for hotels for 2022, which we all should be getting ready right now with some game plans. We're going to talk about all the stuff that you need to do for next year. And we have my buddy on, Tilokee. Super excited. You're going to find out which platforms you must use for your hotel in 2022. Plus, discover ways to boost your engagement because, a lot of times you try to have this big following and you get no engagement. That's very important when you have really good engagement. We're going to give you actionable tips and strategies. Guys, comment and let me know where you're watching from and make sure that we are live. Let me make sure. We are live on LinkedIn. Somebody say yes or no. Are we live on LinkedIn? Comment and let us know where you're watching from. And we give you a shout out too. Guys, this episode is brought to you by, you guessed it. Where is it? There it is, smartguests.com, with over 4,700 hotels within the United States and Canada as customers, helping them improve their operations, customer service, marketing, all of those things. Smart Guests has over 50 tools to help your hotel grow and improve its operations and a lot of different things. So somebody in the comments put www.smartguests.com. Thank you so much to Smart Guests for sponsoring. Guys, let's see where we have people watching from. Let me put the banner up. Guys, comment what city you're watching from. I love hearing where people are watching from. All right, we have Paula. Can anybody guess where Paula's listening from or watching from? If you said Brazil, you are right. Shout out to Paula. We have Texas in the house. Lonnie's in the house. Rio's in the house. Budapest is in the house. Guys, love when you guys comment. Let us know where you're watching from. All right, guys. So excited. This is one of my favorite topics. Social media is one of my favorite topics because I just love the way it helps your hotel improve, helps you as a personal brand improve. And I think it's important that we all learn what's happening for 2022 and all the new features that are coming up and what platforms really to be focused on, right? Every week I talk about a mindset. This week's mindset is this, and let me pop it up. Very, very important. Let me see if I can read it to you. Guys, if you have a chance to make someone happy, just do it. And I got this from Mindset Therapy, which I follow on social media. Sometimes people are struggling silently, and maybe your act of kindness can help make their day. Have you done that recently? As we're going into the holiday season, you have a chance to make a team member, a guest, somebody happy, because you never know what people are struggling through. And I think that's very important, especially right now where there's a lot of people that are lonely. Honestly, I know some people that are like, I don't want to go do this thing with whatever, or I'm not doing this thing because of whatever. I think it's important that you just realize like, hey, maybe this person, you can make their day by just, doing this one simple thing that can make them happy. And I think that's a mindset that I love. So I'm going to be doing some of that as we get into the holiday season. And I've been thinking about this. I don't know if I should do this, but I would love, and I live in Orlando, so I would love to go, and we have 300 or 400 hotels within like 20 miles of where I live. Think about that. What if I went to like 10 hotels and surprised people with something like a gift pack or Sarah's book or something, which would be amazing, right? A gift card, something, which I think is going to make people's day. And so if you have the chance to make somebody happy, just do it, right? All right, now I'm gonna make sure I get this right because last week I did mess up. Let's bring Sarah on with the hospitality minute. And where is it? Where is it? There it is. What's up, Sarah?
Hi, I'm Sarah Dandashy from Ask a Concierge. Every week, I'll be sharing the latest hospitality and travel news and updates in a segment we like to call Hospitality Minute.
What's up, Sarah?
Hey, good morning from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, so you're not at a car dealership. You're not at your house. Where are you?
I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm actually here this week. I am in an amazing autograph collection hotel. I'm actually at the Hotel Distill, and I mean, I don't know if you could. This place is so cool. I wanted to show off this room because such cool touches that they have here, and I'm in this Whiskey Row area. So if you guys, by the way, Louisville is like, it's where it's happening. And if
Really?
you are into whiskey and bourbon, I highly suggest that you come here. I actually got to do a tour of a distillery yesterday, Peerless Distillery. The history is so cool. You learn about prohibition and that particular distillery. The owner, his great-great-grandfather actually started the Palmer House in Chicago, which is like a huge historic. It's like one of the oldest hotels in the country. So a lot of cool things here, a lot of cool things actually happening with hospitality and hotels. So highly recommend it. Amazing restaurants too, by the way. I went to this place called Volare last night. So cool. And Repeal is a restaurant actually in this hotel as well too. But all that good stuff, I can tell you guys later. Follow me on social media.
Well, I think you're sharing your entire journey from the flight all the way to the hotel and more through your Instagram story. So guys, follow her on Instagram at Ask a Concierge. Sarah, let's get into the hospitality minute because so much has been added, right?
Yeah. Stuff's happening. All right. Well, we'll dive in. I actually thought that this was really cool. And again, I know, being in the hospitality industry, I actually always am a fan of talking about Airbnb because they're same, but different. So Airbnb, they've actually introduced some new features. And why this is kind of cool is it's happening right before the holiday season. I did talk about this briefly, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit more on here as well. So a couple things. You can now book up to 12 months in advance, which is really important. Why is this important? Because we are seeing that consumers, guests, travelers are looking to book that far in advance. So that's really important. They also are doing new styles of accommodation. So like off the grid places, ski in, ski out homes. This is interesting because last year when Marriott launched their homes and villas segment as well, they're kind of like kind of tailoring to this, sort of clientele. So it's showing that there is this give and take between the hotel industry and what Airbnb is doing. They also have like crazy hotels on there, like a place or crazy homes on there, like a place that looks like a spaceship and a Idaho potato. So that's lovely. And also their numbers are up. They have seen 40% more people booking for Thanksgiving week this year than in 2019. So again, really interesting to see what's going on. All right. Now, new big news in New York City. They just announced this week, I'm sure if you didn't hear, they are bringing back the big New Year's Eve celebration into Times Square. Yay. Again, why does this matter for us when we are seeing big pillars like big cities like New York, Los Angeles, London, when they make big announcements like this about big changes, that does impact us. And it's huge that they're bringing back their big New Year's Eve celebration. Now, obviously, there are, some requirements that they're doing is that they are going to make sure that everybody's vaccinated. That's going to be in that close proximity. But again, that is really good news. And it's exciting to see New York coming back and feeling like it did before. So, all right. And then our final topic, we've touched on this like over the past couple of months, but I think this is really interesting and important. So United Airlines is now resuming serving hard liquor on their flights, which is interesting that they're choosing this time. Now, first of all, I know Calvin's coming on in a bit, and Calvin's all about getting his, he wants to have his drinks on the plane, which all good. He's gonna kill me after this. But this is interesting just because right now there is a bit of this tug of war with what we're seeing flight attendants seeing. That there is this increase in unruly behavior of passengers. So the fact that United is making this decision. I mean, they're really kind of weighing, okay, a lot of passengers are saying, yes, please bring back the chance, the opportunity to buy hard liquor. And then you also have the flight attendants that are like, wait. But we'll see how this ends up playing out. But that's a thing. So if you do enjoy having, a nice cocktail on the plane and you are flying United, you get to enjoy that this holiday season. So there you go. That's it for today's Hospitality Minute. I covered a lot, but there we go. You're just going to keep playing.
So Sarah, all right, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
For the folks that are watching, do you guys enjoy a drink on a flight from wherever, right? For me, I'm going to be honest. If I'm just like going to party somewhere, I might have a drink or two, right? Not get drunk, but just have a drink or two and like calm myself down. I'm not a fearless, I'm a fearless flyer. So that is that. But for you, Sarah, I know you're not a big drinker. Would
Don't
you
tell everybody?
Oh, she's a big drinker. All right. She's a drunk and she's drunk right now. No, I'm just kidding. Would you have a drink?
Okay, so to be fair, and this is actually a big joke with people that know me. I am actually not a big drinker, and it's funny because I end up doing a lot of things. Like I visit a lot of wineries, distilleries. But I find, by the way, that process so fascinating. So, but I am not a big drinker, and I did actually have a drink on a plane a couple of months ago, and because. Let's be honest. One drink does the trick for me. Okay.
Half, Sarah,
half a drink does the trick for me. And I totally was sitting there like, oh, I don't like the way that this feels, but it was a red eye and I did sleep pretty well. So there you go.
Yeah.
Teach his own.
Even when like you're flying to like another country or whatever, you get like free drinks or like wine and all that stuff. I don't really I don't enjoy like drinking and flying. It's just
there are studies and that basically it's because of the altitude or that pressure. It's like a little bit goes a long way. It also changes how you taste as well too. So that's why certain drinks like ginger ale and tomato juice or Bloody Mary mix is like extra tasty because your sense of taste is heightened. So yes, I've read up on this.
All right. So on your flight to Kentucky, what did you drink?
I had sparkling water and I had a Diet Coke.
I usually have either water or ginger ale because my stomach.
Ginger ale is definitely pretty tasty. That's for sure.
Well,
but
listen,
sometimes they do tomato juice.
Yeah. Actually, I do too. Well, I'm so excited that your book is coming out or it's already out. You announced it, and I was Sarah. Thank you so much for having me on the show having you on the show last week, even prior to your book launch, which launched last Thursday.
Yes.
With amazing results. Guys,
so
you
exciting.
Want to take advantage of a great Christmas present or a holiday present, this is a great stocking stuffer. It's a great present for anybody in the hospitality industry or people that just want to hear stories of amazing folks that are making a difference in hospitality. And the book is, here it is.
There it is.
Hospitality from Within by Sarah Dandashy. Sarah, tell us what happened this past week as you launched your book.
Well, I have to say it has been so exciting and overwhelmingly positive. I'm blown away by the support on who is, not only, purchasing the book, but who's excited about it. People that are like, let's make sure to get a signed copy. And which, by the way, everybody that's doing the pre-sale all of those copies will be signed. I'm also working on a couple of little goodies as well, too, because it will be the holidays. So I want you not only to get the book, but a couple of extra things as well, too. But it's been incredible. So we're going to keep the spirit alive. I'm probably going to do a couple of giveaways over the next couple of weeks. And yeah, it's going to be, it's exciting. So much more to come.
We're going to continue sharing it every week and make it a top seller within, our industry and make sure that you get the love that you deserve. Guys, comment and let us know if you purchased the book. If you haven't, you have to for your entire team right here at hospitalityfromwithin.com. This is Sarah's official website to get the book. Eventually, it'll be on 100 other websites, but
Eventually it'll be on Amazon. It'll be all that stuff, but you won't be able to get a signed copy that way. So if you
signed
go
copy
to
and
this,
some goodies. Signed copy
yeah,
and some goodies. And maybe a shout out on the show. I think we should do that.
I'm into that. I'm into that.
Sarah, it's always a pleasure having you. Sarah has a huge following, and follow her if you want to find out how she got to Kentucky with her on her Instagram. Share her entire story on the her travel and the flight and all those things. So, Sarah, it's always a pleasure having you.
Likewise, thank you so much. And by the way, you are about to have an amazing show because I'm a huge fan of Calvin. We're both in LA. He's amazing. I've known him for years. So learn a lot today. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
All right, guys, this is episode 116. We're talking about social media for 2022, which is coming up like very soon. And my featured guest today is, and I'm going to read this out loud, or read this. I'm going to read this directly from his bio. All right, Calvin is our featured guest, Calvin Tilokee. Calvin is a longtime hotelier who is also creator of Rev Problems on Instagram, which you have to follow because it is so funny. I'm gonna pull that up. Inspired by years of experience, Calvin creatively uses hotel stories to entertain an audience of over 20,000 followers. As a CEO of RevPar Media, Calvin shows hospitality business how to leverage the potential of social media to attract guests. Guys, this is Calvin Tilokee. Hey, what's up?
What's up? What's up? How you doing, Rupesh?
Good. But prior to this live, we just did a live with your show and then the team with
Revenue Hacks.
Rev Hacks, right? Always a pleasure at being on that show. It was so much fun. Calvin, tell us about how you got into what you do right now.
Well, as most of the audience out there, I'm a hotelier. I've worked in hotels for about 20 years, about half of that in revenue management, hence the name of Rev Problems. I started making a lot of jokes about being in those revenue meetings and a lot of the jokes started out about revenue. But with a long background in hospitality, having gone to hospitality school, worked in a lot of different departments, I pull my content from a lot of stories, a lot of things that I've been through and seen in hospitality, which we can all relate to. So that's really what my page is all about, is kind of creating that community. This was one of my recent favorites. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg just decided, hey, I'm going to change the name of this thing, and everybody's going to subscribe. And we do that in hotels, especially in revenue. When we kind of need to come up with some creative descriptions for those rooms to attract business. We kind of pull some of those same tricks. So
every day, multiple times a day, you have amazing posts and a funny post, and they're all related to hospitality and hotels. It's funny to read all of these, like this one when your MOD oversells a hotel on a MOD weekend.
Shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, you're like choking somebody out because, we all get it. And I love that you can have the creative side of hospitality and a fun side too, because that's what social media is about. It's not just about posting, hey, we have a special today and come stay at our hotel, right? But it's really sharing that story. And today we're going to get into the strategies for 2022. Before we get into the strategies, I know there's a lot of hotels that make mistakes that are trying to leverage social media to make a difference. What are some of those mistakes that we can all learn from?
Well, I would say the biggest mistake I see is people don't go into social media knowing their audience or having a strategy. And that's where my revenue mind really kicks in, along with the social media creativity is, with my revenue background, you have to know who you're going after. You've got to know who your guest is, right? Is your hotel a corporate hotel? Is it leisure? Is it a mix of both? Do you do a lot of weddings? Is it mostly male or female? These are things you need to know in order to be able to create content that they're going to be able to engage with and really resonate with them. That's probably mistake number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's another mistake that people see? I mean, I see a lot of mistakes. Hotels out every single day. You see other, mistakes that, hey, you could fix right away, right now, and see some ROI on that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, once you know your audience, then you can build a strategy, right? That's when you can actually start to build um, build your strategy of what you want to do. Are you looking to grow the account right now? Are you looking for higher engagement? Is your goal to, in my opinion, every hotel's social media account, the goal should be to turn those followers into guests. What I see too many times is, hotels are just focused on putting any kind of content out there. You'll get followers, but is it something they're engaging with? You have 10,000 followers, but 1% engagement or less. When it's time, for you to actually sell sell to them, you want them to book your hotel, book a promo or something like that. People aren't paying attention. And as far as it pertains to ROI, one of the things you really want to keep in mind is looking at social media as a real part of that marketing funnel. We invest money at every hotel having a website, digital marketing, e-commerce, email marketing. We put money into these things because we know we need to do them. Social media is right up there with that. If you talk to anybody about your email marketing, you need double digit open rates and engagement for that to be seem successful. Instagram, for example, the average engagement rate is 3%. If you're doing any more than 3%, you're doing really well. So if you can get the same amount, if you had 20,000 email addresses in your database, that's pretty decent. You can do that on social media and only need 3% of the people to engage with you on a regular basis and be doing well and be able to reach them. And as far as it pertains to, selling, something that you touched on in the question, your content, you don't want your content to be all, hey, come stay with us, book this promo, book this promo. That's too much. It shouldn't be any more than 20% of your content. So if you're posting 5 times a week, one post should be, hey, this is our king bed suite. You can book it now at 10% off, whatever promo, right? You don't want to bombard people.
Yeah, and the question is right now is what's your favorite or what's your top social media platform that our viewers are using right now to promote their hotel or to build a following on social? Guys, comment and let us know so we can kind of put it together where people are focused on as far as what channel. I think, for hotels, it's all over the place. And knowing your audience is a huge part of it. I see a lot of hotels that have a big following and decent engagement, but they're posting like job ads, right? Like, hey,
Mhm.
come work for the hotel, which oftentimes I feel like doesn't make sense because nobody that is following them once is looking for a job for the most part. So I think when you look at their audience, they're not looking to, they don't want to know that your hotel is hiring. They want to know all the cool stories around it. And so I think that there are
Yeah,
some mistakes that people are making when you don't know your audience and you're focused on maybe just
right.
because you're struggling right now, you're looking at hiring. Maybe you can use that. Maybe you can use it like the paid side of things on social to target people. And I think that's a mistake that we can all learn. All right. So we've talked
Yeah.
about some mistakes. We talk about ROI in social media. Is there
Mhm.
an ROI for 2022?
Yeah, absolutely. I think your ROI on social media is actually going to be greater than some of those other channels that I mentioned. Website, again, a website contribution. It was probably, if you do 1%, if 1% of the people who visit your website book, that's pretty good, right? Now, one thing too, when it comes to ROI with social, you want to be mindful of, it's not going to be immediate, right? So if you don't have a page right now in November and you start one, you're not selling out your hotel in January. So keep your goals in perspective. It can be a slow build, but again, similar with building up an email database and some of the other things that we're already doing. So I want to drive that point home is we're already as an industry spending money in marketing for things that don't really give us a huge return. I mean, how many people actually book through a lot of these email blasts that we put out? But we continue to do them because they're necessary. It's a way to reach people. Social media will give you a better ROI. It won't be immediate, but if you build it up, strategize it, and you do it well, eventually that's going to pay a lot better. And you mentioned Facebook ads and things like that. If you want to invest money in targeted ads on these channels, you're going to get to see a better ROI doing that than you will, through email or some of the other things that we're doing.
Yeah, I've had companies say, "Hey, we'll do all the social media for you and do those things, but you have to look at the ROI and like, hey, if I spend $20,000 this year on just social posts, but it doesn't bring me $20,000 back. Even a 1-to-1 typically is what is it, like 4-to-1 or whatever that you would kind of focus on as far as social. Then it might make sense for you to do the paid side of things and spend that 20,000 on paid, where you might see a much bigger result, right? As far as the social channels. All right, so ROI, we're talking about it. There is some ROI. No, there is ROI in your social campaign.
Absolutely.
What are some tips that you can share that, we can look into 2022 and say, all right, this is what we need to focus on?
Yeah, I would say focus. Like, so once you know the audience, once you've got a strategy behind it, you want to start telling a story. And a lot of times when I speak about that, people, a lot of hotels think that you need to have a fancy property in order to do well on social, and you don't. You really don't. Because what separates this business from most others, this is all about people, right? This is all about people. And what you can do is, we all share this common thread of having gone through the pandemic as an industry together, and not only us, our guests, right? There was a post I saw on LinkedIn recently where there's a hotel owner of mid-scale hotels in New Orleans. They're still closed. They've been closed since Hurricane Ida, and they haven't reopened, right? And he just put a post of him with his executive housekeeper rebuilding the hotel, and this thing went over 2,000 likes and maybe 100 and something comments, right? Because that's a story we can all resonate to. We all work with the people with people like that. We all know that executive housekeeper who has just been there and stuck with us through the entire pandemic and help rebuild the hotel. And again, that's not just for us. Your guests also have jobs. They may have been that person who have helped their business and helped their company and stayed through, right? So that's a story we can all connect with, and that's the kind of thing you want to tell. That was that's like a Hampton Inn type of hotel. You don't need to be
post. Yeah.
Yeah, it, right? So you don't need to be at at a Four Seasons or anything like that to do well on social. And quite frankly, I think most people, they're looking for genuine connection. And you can do that on social media, as opposed to, the example I always give is, as opposed to our websites. When people go to your hotel website, they know that all the pictures are photoshopped, right? And that's fine. That's what it's for, right? But the reason TripAdvisor has such a huge impact in our industry is because people started to look for that real effect. They want to see what it really looks like. They want to see regular pictures from regular Joes like them. What does that hotel actually look like? So as opposed to everybody going to TripAdvisor to see that, you can do that on your social media page. You can have someone on property take some pictures with a smartphone, do a walkthrough of the property, which I do some examples of that on my travel page, Scotch in a Suitcase. So if you guys go on Instagram, you can see that. Go in the highlights. I do walkthroughs of hotels every time I stay, and I'll show the front desk, the check-in, the room, and that was just taken on my phone. There's no professional camera, there's no crew and lighting, and that's what social media is all about. That authentic engagement.
Storytelling is a huge part of it, and I think that a lot of hotels can have an opportunity to just share a background of the team, what's going on, special events.
Exactly.
Events through the holidays. I think there's so many things that we can focus on, as long as you come up with a game plan. All right, what are some other tips as far as 2022 social media strategies?
Yeah. So I can give you like top 3 tips right now that you could do if you have a page, or you're just starting one right now. This will have immediate impact. Number 1, update the bio section. So for example, with Instagram, right? When you create an account, you're going to have the name. So say, Hampton Inn, Idaho, right? That's the name of the account. But then you also have a name field once you look in the bio. Don't duplicate it. You want to use that to pack it with keywords. That's all searchable by Google. That entire bio, if somebody says now, I'm looking for hotel near the airport, and you have an airport hotel, O'Hare or something like that, put those type of keywords in the bio. So more of a description of your hotel as opposed to the name of your hotel.
Right. And here's a good example right here. This is a Hampton Inn in North Carolina. And you can see that they included, some keywords. What else can you see? What else can we optimize this?
So the example I'm giving is, right, so the name of the account is Hampton Inn Carborough. You wouldn't want to put that again in the name field where it says Hampton Inn and Suites Carborough, right? Because now if somebody's Googling, I'm looking for a Hampton Inn in this area of North Carolina, you're going to come up already because you've named the account this way. So what you could do in that name field is change it to probably some of the information they have, walking distance to Franklin Street or Franklin Street, Hampton Inn, or something, some combination of keywords that people may be searching for that in that area, right? So you could use that. What they are doing well, which is another tip, is that they're using the website to do a booking link. That is something that a lot of accounts drop the ball. If you do everything else right, if you've got the people on your page, they're engaged and they're excited and they want to stay, let them be able to stay, right? So that website field that they have up there, that's going right to their website and hopefully right to that booking page where if you're showing everything, if you're doing everything else right, you want them to book. You don't want them to go to Expedia or an OTA or something like that, right? You want them to book directly. And this is how you can kind of control and help take back some of that market share. And so that's they're doing it right. They're doing 2 out of 3 things right, which is better than most.
Nice. All right. So what are some other tips that we can kind of use today as far as actionable tips that we can go, you know what, let me see if I can adjust this to get a better ROI or focus on next year.
Using the right hashtags. Hashtags are a great way, especially when your account is new, to find your audience. Hashtags are, little keywords that people search for to see what their interests are. The mistake a lot of people make, and I've made it when I started out doing Instagram, and everybody does it, is you want to put the hashtag that the first one comes to your mind. So hashtag hotels or hashtag travel. These have millions and millions and millions of posts. So by the time you post it, you're getting drowned out. The whole goal of the hashtag is so when somebody searches for it, they'll see you at the top. You want to trend in those top 9 posts on social media. So if I do, hashtag Hampton Inn, using that example, that hotel would want to be near the top so they can see you, see the post, and then go to your page. If you're doing something like a hashtag Hilton, you're probably going to get drowned out if there's got millions of followers. I always tell people it's like when you're singing, right? Like if you sing in the shower, you can hear yourself, right? If you sing at the concert, nobody's going to hear you. You know what I mean? You don't want to do, that's what you don't want to do on social. You don't want to be drowned out by 60,000 other posts. You want it to be, you can hear and see what I'm giving you.
Nice.
And lastly, what you can do, which I think is crucial, especially for hotels, is create highlights. So in that example that you pulled up, there were a couple of highlights underneath that bio. So you see, they said events, amenities. What I would do for any hotel and suggest is do a highlight of every single one of your room types, right? So when somebody's looking to book, all they have to do is scroll up a little more to book. But hey, I want to know what the junior suite really looks like. Have a walkthrough of that junior suite, every single one, the ones that have different views and things like that, because you want to keep them on that page and between your website as much as possible. Don't make them have to go to an external website, one of these OTAs to see what the hotel looks like or the room looks like. Again, they can go on your website, but they know that that's all fake. They know that that's a very curated picture. They want to see what it really looks like. Do a walkthrough of every single one of your room types, put them in a highlight. And again, you can see examples of that on Scotch in a Suitcase on my travel page.
Awesome. Yeah, I think highlights and stories, a lot of people, we don't have time for stories. Now, how do I make time to post stories on my hotel social media page, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, any of these other channels? TikTok, like how do I use that same content to post stories? How do I get the time to do that?
Well, it really, again, it depends on the strategy and what you're looking to do. Stories are not necessarily going to grow your account. Stories are great for engagement. Right. So if your goal starting out, if you're looking to grow and get the following, don't focus on them. Really, that's not something you need to do immediately. What I would do is use the story to create those highlights that I just spoke about, and do that. But once you are at a point where, hey, okay, now I want to focus on stories. It's something that I talked about yesterday in a live with Paula, who's in the audience. Consistency doesn't necessarily mean every single day. Right. If you want to pick 2 days out of the week that you're active on stories and you're focusing on something at the hotel, that's fine. As long as you're consistent with those 2 days a week. right? So don't think that the only way to grow or be successful is I have to do this every single day, 2-3 times a day. Then it becomes a job. It becomes work, right? It becomes something that's a nuisance. Find a happy medium of something. Okay, we want to be active. We want to do 2 stories a week, and that's fine. And you can use things like different events that are happening at the hotel. If somebody's booked a meeting room, a quick story about, hey, this is what the meeting room looks like before, this is it after, right? And after we've set it up and we've got it looking pretty for the client, and then you can take some pictures with them in there, share that on your story. And again, maybe you want to pop that into a highlight saying meetings. This is what your meeting could look like if you're staying with us.
Right. Now, for the folks that are watching, I mean, we only have a few more minutes before we have to leave, but this has been awesome. Do you guys have any questions on social media for 2022? I have a bunch, but I want to go to the audience and see if they have any questions. When we're talking about, focusing on some channels for 2022, what channel should I be focused on for my hotel? So many, there's so many. There's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's, all the video sites as far as, YouTube. What do I focus on first?
Well, I think for hotels, you want to do Instagram. Instagram is the top app for travel. For people, the top interest on Instagram is travel. So that's I think the one you want to start with. It's still a fairly new app, which is strange to say. It's only been around about 11 years. I always joke with people. I've been married 14 years. I have no wedding pictures on Instagram. It didn't exist when I got married, right? So it's still growing. People worry about saturation and stuff like that. That's not a concern when, again, I think if you're doing it the right way, you will find your audience, no matter how many people have hotel accounts out there. You'll find your audience. And I'll tell you from experience, a lot of people ain't doing it well. So there's still room for people to jump in, get your hotel up and running. You do it right, you will find your audience. But Instagram would be the one I would start with. Depending on your demographic is when you can, maybe you want to pivot to Facebook. Facebook is still the biggest one. It's over, I forget the number, but billions and billions of users on Facebook. And what's great with Facebook is you get the whole family on Facebook, right? It's the broadest scope of age ranges. Instagram kind of peaks between that 25 to 34 age range.
Yeah.
Facebook is all over the place. So you'll get the Gen Zers and you'll get your baby boomers on Facebook. So if you have a family kind of resort place, Facebook might be a better place for you because you can target both of those audiences at the same time. And TikTok is new. It's a little controversial in this space because people think it's all the funky dances and all that stuff. But TikTok is great for F&B content. So if you've got good F&B at your property, it's great to do little videos about, the best cocktail at your rooftop or something like that, or the best cocktail, and just do a video of start to finish, how it's made, put some music to it. And that kind of stuff works really well. You can do that with food, your top selling dish in your restaurant. Just take some quick video and put that together. Again, I have a lot of examples of that on my page. But TikTok can work. And hey, listen, if you have the team that you can pull together and you guys do some trending dances in the lobby, go for it. Absolutely. I've worked with people who were legit actors that would crush it on TikTok for a hotel. So if you have the team, go for it. But don't dismiss something like TikTok if just because you don't have that. You can do great F&B. And again, it's about the demographic. If your hotel is a bit more geared to a younger, hipper crowd, TikTok might work. Probably is not going to work if you're on more of a older demographic. So again, it all comes back to knowing who you're targeting.
Yeah, and I think for TikTok, I mean, it's a brand new platform, just a few years old, and posts are getting a lot of engagement. So I was even thinking like, hey, if you had a housekeeper go and do a clean a room or strip a room. Simple things that you can share for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 3 minutes on TikTok, I think is cool to build that engagement. And here's the thing, you're not getting ROI, but you're getting brand awareness. So when Jennifer says that they just started with TikTok and they're getting good exposure. Jennifer works for Rosen Hotels, a big outfit here in Orlando. And if they're saying they're getting good, results, I think you just need to get started with a few videos and have it post. And then maybe once a week, you already have the content in your hotel. That's what I tell people. You
It's
already
there.
have the content that you're just not focused on that content. You're thinking like, oh my God, I see everybody else dancing, so I need to dance. No, you don't need to dance.
Right.
You can do an educational side of TikTok. You can do an educational side of travel, right? Which teaches people something about the local market. Like example, Orlando, 5 top places to see when it's raining in Orlando, or when it's so hot. Here's what to do in Orlando to cool yourself down with your family. Here's how to get the best exposure or here's how to watch Disney fireworks at the optimal time for your family. Like I could think of 1,000 things, right?
Exactly. It doesn't need to be complicated.
And I think that's what you talk about when you talk about social media for next year. What else can people focus on for 2022? Because there's so much noise.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you just made. Just because somebody else is, what's trending may not be for you, and just speaking from my personal experience as a content creator, I'm not that guy, right? I'm not the guy who does that kind of TikTok stuff. So I know my lane and I stay in it, right? I mean, some people are video people, some people are better writers, some people are better just with, static pictures. Figure out what works best for you, your property, your audience, and just hammer it home. You don't need to jump on every single trend just because it's there. That's where you can kind of lose it. And I think again, I always come back to this, just really just knowing who you are, knowing what your property is and who your guest is. Once you have that, and you can just crush this thing. Is just hammer home at that and just focus on your strategy.
Yeah. And I like the idea of also getting, like, if you're a writer, you can repurpose that writing into a video. You can repurpose that writing into pictures, right? So if you did a top 10, turn those into pictures. Like actually go and take pictures of what you just talked about, or a video of what you just talked about. I think that's what looking forward into the future. If you've already created content and it's gone viral or it's gotten more likes than usual, repurpose that to do something else as far as a different media piece, right? And I think that's going to be powerful for next year.
Yeah.
This has been amazing. I know a lot of people have a lot of great comments in here, guys. Everybody, thank you so much. If you've liked this episode with Calvin, please hit the like button and let us know in the comments that you did appreciate it right here. And Calvin, where can people find you? And by the way, hold on, before I even continue, I want to share your let's see if I have it. I don't have it right in front of me. Oh no. But please tell us where people can find you.
Well, of course, you can find me on Instagram at Ref Problems. If you work in hotels and you like to laugh, you should be following already. But if not, go do that now. For social media tips and coaching, you can follow me at RefPar Media. Or just connect with me on LinkedIn. I share tips there as well, and I'm happy to coach and help anybody else who's looking to get the most out of their social in 2022.
Absolutely. Here's his link, or here's his Instagram profile. He also has the Ref Problems, which is a funny account. I laugh at it every single day when you post stuff. Calvin, it's been a pleasure. Have a great holiday season. Hope this content helps everybody else out for the future as we get into 2022. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Bye. That was awesome, guys. Like I said, I love social media. This is right up my alley. I love that he shares all these things. The biggest takeaway is know your audience, right? As you're trying to focus on thinking of all these creative things, if it doesn't align with your audience, you're missing the boat. You're missing opportunities. And I love this. It was awesome. I love Calvin. He's such a great guy. And guys, next week is the holiday week, which is Thanksgiving. I'm going to have a special episode next week where we just are thankful for a lot of things. And we're going to bring on some cool people that are going to hopefully inspire us and keep us going. Guys, until then, thank you so much. Please share this episode with somebody that could find value out of it by just clicking on the share button and sending it as a DM, sending it out as a post, any of those things. Guys, if you want to follow me and get updates on the next episodes, or as we get into 2022, I think the next 6 weeks for me is going to be all about gearing up for 2022 with budgets, with a lot of different things, renos. Maybe we'll talk about some fun things too. So, guys, follow me here on, or actually on my website. It is rupesh.co/show. You can subscribe there and get notified for the next time I go live. And guess what? We're giving away some awesome prizes, including Sarah's book, which is right here, hospitalityfromwithin.com. Can't wait, guys. Until then, take care of yourself, each other. I'll see you next week.